Red Wave! Welcome to Beware Bulldogs podcast. My name is Caleb Nail. Joining me is my host, Caleb Pletz. We are live on YouTube and Twitter right now. You can follow us on Twitter at Beware CSUF and on YouTube, Beware of Bulldogs. First things first, though. Caleb, it's been a week. How was your weekend, man?
Weekend was a lot of fun. Got to take in some Fresno State baseball. It was beautiful weather for that. Took in a concert. I mean, it was a
Concert?
Concert at Woodward Park. It was a lot of fun. So, just overall a really nice spring weekend. How about you?
Who'd you see?
Cody Johnson was a headliner. He's a country guy, so he was really good.
That's where I lose you.
Yeah,
I know nothing about country music. Yeah, oh, good. Sounds like you had fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of baseball. I had to return Trent, one of the TFF dudes, Trent's ice chest that he left at the tailgate. So I took that back to him and celebrated some birthdays with the fans. So we had a lot of fun. Excuse me. And I talked with Gabe. So that was fun. And we're going to talk about a lot of things that have happened in the Fresno State world. We're going to catch up. You may have heard us talk with myself. You may have heard myself talk with Gabe about some of these things, but now Caleb and I are going to break some things down and dive a little deeper into what's going on in the football program. Packed show for you today. We got transfer portal news, offers that we have given out in the transfer portal. This is football. Then we're going to catch up on the baseball program. We split with San Jose State. And then Fresno State basketball. We'll talk a little bit about that. Hop in the comments section. Leave your questions, or the live chat. I guess that's what they call it. The live chat. Leave your questions for us, and we're happy to talk about it. Caleb, let's start with Fresno State football. So typically we start with baseball. No, we're going right into football, though.
Right.
Tell me, who is the name that has entered the transfer portal that maybe is not so much of a surprise, but is a big name?
Yeah, this past week, Jalen Henderson, quarterback, entered the portal, which I don't think really was a surprise to a lot of Bulldog fans. And definitely, I think no one really faults him for it. Just based on where he was kind of looking to be on the depth chart, not really fitting the Tedford quarterback mold. But yeah, he was, one of the bigger names to, enter the portal. I mean, anytime, a quarterback enters the portal, it's going to be, noteworthy to talk about. But especially a guy who, back, in the DeBoer years, I mean, we were thinking, okay, like this guy looks pretty good in the DeBoer offense. He's going to be awesome. This is quarterback of the future. And obviously a lot of things can change in, a year or two with new coaching staff and new players coming in transfer wise. So definitely wish him the best. And hopefully he lands on his feet. And I mean, based on his Twitter, he's already getting some interest from Power 5 schools. So hopefully for his sake, he's able to land in a good spot where he's able to get some playing time.
He has fielded an offer from Texas A&M.
Yeah.
That's fine. He can listen to those guys in the overalls scream and yell. I don't know what that is. I don't know.
It's just like the Aggie yell or something like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, no. Gabe and I talked about it. Not a big surprise on our end, but I think from last year when we had 5 quarterbacks on the roster, now we have 4. We're sitting at 4 because Robinson also entered the transfer portal. So you're looking at King Fife battling for first string. And then you have Mandel and
Josh Wood. Yep.
Yes, and who we didn't get to see at the spring game, but we hear lots of good things about. So there's still a lot of competition. Guys are pushing each other. I'm going to give you a hypothetical right now because Robbie Keane has 3 years left.
Mikey.
Okay, thank you. Mikey Keane has 3 years left. Do you think Fife or Wood enter the transfer portal as well? Maybe not this year, but next year.
Right. Yeah. I am worried about Joshua Wood, and him wanting to stick around. Obviously, we'd love to see that. But I mean, you got to think if he's not able to, make any traction there on the depth chart. I mean, the game these days, I mean, there's going to be coaches in his DMs or calling him or getting to him somehow saying, hey, come over here and we got some money for you and we got some playing time for you. So that's definitely a concern when you have a young stud on the depth chart, but kind of buried behind a couple other guys. I mean, just like what happened with Jalen Henderson. I mean, maybe given another year to develop, maybe he could have been really good. And, with Mikey Keene too, if he explodes this year and has a career year and, he's eligible to declare for the NFL draft because, he would have been out of high school for 3 years. So, in theory, he would be draft eligible coming up. So that's the other thing too, is, you don't know if the guys are going to end up using all their eligibility. A guy like Keene and, he's able to get some NIL interest and stuff like that. You got to think he's thinking long-term and maybe that he has a shot to play in the NFL. I mean, I think most quarterbacks want to think that they, have that ability and that opportunity. So that's the other factor too, is, if Keene explodes this year and all of a sudden he declares for the draft and then, come next year, it's like, well, I guess we just have Logan Fife again and, we got to restart it. So obviously that's thinking way in the future. And, it seems like Keene is, wanting to, really contribute here as a Bulldog. But yeah, there's all these kind of thoughts going on with, how to manage the depth chart. So you got to think that, Coach Tedford and Coach McCann, I mean, it's got to be stressful, like the roster management side of coaching now.
Oh, it's awful. Yeah. I would not want to sign up for that. I mean, we just watched, I think it's 46 players have entered the transfer portal from Colorado. And there was like 20 of them were today.
Yeah.
It was wild. And I think 41 are officially gone from Colorado. So anyways, the roster turnover is insane. It's worse than the NFL. And you're not dealing with contracts, but they want money. They do want money. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where things go and how it affects schools like Fresno State. The other player that has entered the transfer portal, the name is Valley Washington. Could be Valet Washington. Either way, it's a cool first name. Yeah, Valley is even cooler. Played wide receiver. I don't remember ever seeing him play, to be honest. I can't think of anything. So I don't think it's going to hurt the team, but there might be a problem when it comes to depth at the wide receiver position, just because we have so many guys leaving. Maybe lack of depth is not the right word. Maybe lack of experience is the right way to put it.
Definitely. This one, this one was kind of curious because, the wide receiver position coming into the season is one that I think we're a little bit concerned about, just because of how much talent was lost from last year's team. And, it really seems like, okay, there's a lot of opportunity here. I mean, every starting spot was up for grabs. So, obviously this kind of seems like maybe writing was on the wall for him, or maybe just didn't click with coaching staff. And, maybe they encouraged him to pursue some other opportunities. We won't know that, but yeah, it is kind of interesting when, you see a guy from a position group that, is still considered a need for this team. And, we'll get into that when we talk about some of the targets that the team is making, making offers in the portal. So yeah, that's just kind of an interesting thing to see there. And, I guess it makes more room for, hopefully a, impact player to come in from the portal.
Let's talk about it. There's 3 players that are known to us that Fresno State has offered in the transfer portal. One of them is Nebraska wide receiver Alante Brown, also known as Cadillac. Now, he was a 4-star recruit, and I mean, he had offers from Nebraska, Michigan State, Ole Miss, Florida State, Missouri, Texas Tech, excuse me, and he started 10 games last year, so he could play. He is 6 feet 190, if you're wondering. So there's one wide receiver, and then there is another wide receiver. So 2 out of the 3 offers are wide receivers. That other wide receiver is Dylan Goffney out of SMU.
Okay.
I believe he was a freshman last year. He's also reporting offers from Arizona State, Pitt, Colorado State, UConn. So not big time schools, but good schools. So, and last but not least, we have offered Texas defensive end Derek Brown, 3-star by 24/7 Sports. He was a 4-star in the 2022 recruiting class. He had 28 offers and took Texas. I mean, his offers included Arkansas, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Penn State, Tennessee, but just us and Liberty have offered. So there is an opportunity to increase the depth at wide receiver and DN, and I'm interested to see if we do anything with offensive line. I spoke about it with Gabe. We're talking with some injuries that we have and guys that have left. I mean, I want to see offensive linemen coming out of the portal to Fresno State, but we'll see. I'm also going to take wide receiver if we have guys transferring out. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think most Bulldog fans are going to agree that offensive line is definitely an area of need of improvement this year. But I think in some of the other college football shows that I listen to, they kind of bring up a good point that offensive line is such a crucial position there, and it's not like there's a surplus of experienced linemen who are going to be able to step in, and if they are in the portal, they're probably going to get some NIL money too. So you got to think that a group of 5 school like Fresno State might have a little bit better luck getting in probably someone junior college rank in terms of offensive line. The last year the Dogs did bring in a handful of linemen from the Power 5 like Michigan State transfer and a couple guys from Stanford. So it is out there, but I don't know if they're going to be the huge improvements on the line. I think that the Fresno State kind of formula for success has been finding guys falling through the cracks, usually at junior college level. So that's kind of what I'm looking at, is hopefully that's where they're able to find them if there's any left. But definitely huge need there. And wide receiver, we need just more guys, and especially just for injury depth. I mean, we've seen a guy like Amoria Edwards who's been on the roster for a couple of years now, and I mean, I think he's maybe been healthy for like 2 games. He's just bit by the injury bug. So I think that's another crazy factor of the portal too, is if guys are willing to stick it out. I mean, injuries are still definitely possible in this game, and you still need to be able to have next man up. It's hard to have next man up if you don't have a second or third string team.
Right. Jay Watson says Bakari was a tough one. He liked what he saw during the spring game. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we talked about this transfer or not last week, but my hot take. I mean, we haven't done our official hot takes yet, right. But I said, he might lead the team in touchdowns because I like the way he ran. But so I agree with you, Jay Watt. I'm bummed. And I mentioned it last episode. There was an interaction that I saw with Bakari. He wasn't happy with the reps he got in the spring game, and so I think he saw, okay, well, there's a lot of competition here. I'm going to go get reps somewhere else, guaranteed reps somewhere else.
And especially with the younger backs that are going to be coming in in the summer with Devin Rivers and like Gabe mentioned on the episode that dropped this morning. So if you haven't listened to that, go listen to it. Got some good information from Gabe Camarillo from ESPN Radio. But the running back from San Joaquin Memorial, Brandon Ramirez, who I think most of the prognosis on him was he was looking at probably playing safety. But Gabe tends to think that, he might get a look on offense too. So, if you see those 2 younger guys coming in and, obviously there's interest out of high school, a transfer running back with only a year of eligibility left. How much, how many reps is he actually going to get? So writing was kind of on the wall for him too, that, it might be a repeat of last year where he's, getting very limited game action.
Back to the O-line really quick. I was reminded of this. The Houston offensive line coach left. Seven offensive linemen from Houston entered the transfer portal.
Whoa.
Now, they are probably going to try and follow him. That would be my assumption. But there's seven guys from Houston, and that's going to be tough for them. I know this is for the state show, but they're hopping to what, Big 12? This year?
They're moving up. Yeah,
they're out 7 linemen and an O-line
coach. That's like detrimental to a team at this point of the year. So then they're going to pluck some coach from G5. That's just going to be a domino of crippling teams.
Yep. And so you could say we have offensive lineman problems, but hey, we're not Houston.
That's right. That's crazy. That is crazy.
All right. There have been 3 rule changes in college football that we want to touch on. And I've heard a lot. I listened to a lot today. I drove tractor today. So I don't know if you can tell my nose. I look like Rudolph. I forgot to put on sunscreen. But while I was driving tractor, I was listening to a lot of college football stuff. And everybody seems to be talking about the time, the play clock rule change, right? Mm-hmm. So if you haven't heard, the play clock is not going to stop now in college football on a first down. It's going to continuously run. My first thought, just sharing my opinion, is if you think offenses run fast now, just you wait. They're going to be blazing. They're going to be snapping the ball so fast, you're going to blink and miss a play.
Yeah.
Also, that's one extreme. The other extreme is because the clock runs, we may go back to old school running up the gut, wasting time. I mean, like Army, they're going to be unstoppable now.
Oh yeah.
And Air Force is going to be a formidable threat. Yeah.
And I mean, and especially for an Air Force team that has been continually building as a program, and they're a very good program in the Mountain West. So yeah, I mean, if they're able to hold on to the ball for the whole first quarter, and, just run off 12 minutes and then score a touchdown and kick off and do it again. And I mean, yeah, there might only be 6 possessions in the whole game.
Right. My other thought, and my last thought on the time clock rule change is this: it's about money. They're trying to get in more ads, right?
So what? I don't get how that works. So if the clock doesn't stop, then how are they going to put in a TV timeout like basketball, like every 4 minutes the clock?
Yeah, maybe. Clock I don't know. That's a good point, but yeah, that is a very good point. So I'll take it back.
I bet never mind. I'm not gonna say that.
Well, the other thing is that the schools now are going to be really disappointed with concession stand sales. They're not going to sell as much.
Yeah.
This is going on with the MLB. So I think the argument was we're cutting down on the amount of snaps and the time being played. And so we care about player safety. And then we're going to expand the playoff and make guys play more games. But anyways, and make more money. But anyway, but the schools are going to be hurt by this. And, we're seeing that with like the Giants. They're not, and the A's are just terrible, but they're not selling as much beer, right? They're staying open throughout the whole game. I think it's going to be the same problem in college football now. Now the schools are going to be hurting because they're not selling as much beer, hot dogs, or whatever. So I don't know.
This seems like an innovation that didn't need to happen. I mean, inventing the forward pass, like, yeah, that was a good innovation that made the game more exciting, more fun. But I mean, making the game go by faster, I don't know. Yeah, that seems like a baseball problem. We need to let keep baseball out of our football.
Who is not watching a full football game?
Right.
Everyone sticks around for, maybe not the San Diego State game last year, but most people are sticking around for a 3-hour college football game.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting through a 3.5 hour baseball game, that's a lot different. That's totally two different arguments. So, that argument I think is got to be thrown out the window.
Yeah. So now it'll be interesting to see, what type of lead in, a fourth quarter is, insurmountable. I mean, if a team's up by 3 touchdowns,
Wow.
maybe that's, you can't come back from that because the other team can, still throw the ball and, get first downs and the clock keeps running.
How much harder is our drive against UCLA to beat UCLA? Would this rule change now? That makes things a lot tougher.
This I believe the clock still stops under 2 minutes. So
you're right.
For close games where it's one possession or maybe 10-point, I think those games won't really be as affected because the last 2 minutes of a college football game can go very long, which is great. I am not complaining here, but yeah, it's definitely going to be an adjustment, and we'll see which coaches are able to manage the clock. I mean, that's been the kryptonite of a lot of coaches over the years is being able to manage timeouts and manage the clock. So yeah, another wrinkle going into next season.
Second rule change is no back-to-back timeouts. I thought that was already a thing. I didn't know that. I wasn't it already a thing where you couldn't call a timeout on a field goal 2 times in a row.
I think that might have been in the NFL already or something, but yeah,
okay.
I mean that seems like a good rule. I mean, if you're gonna ice the kicker, sure, do it once, but yeah, if you're just gonna empty the clip of timeouts at the end of the game, that's just better for the advertisers, I guess. So this one makes sense, and especially, I mean, seems like might need to be using those timeouts earlier in the half too, and might only want to save one for an icing situation. So yeah, this one makes sense.
Kevin Dude 2112. I can't stand the new rule. It means less football.
Yeah. I agree, man.
Football fans should not be happy with this rule.
Right.
I mean, it's here to stay. So I'm trying to find, hopefully just for 1 year, but I'm trying to find the positive in it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we just run it up the gut and we play smash mouth football.
That's right. But we will need the O-line transfer portal help to be able to do that,
though. And the last rule that I don't know too much about, that I need to look more into, is when a penalty is called and there's no time left on the clock, you do not get to replay the down. It goes into the next quarter. So Caleb and I were talking before, and in the second quarter, when there's 2 seconds left, I'm holding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm holding. Now, I don't know if they changed things during that time. They had to think about that. If that's the first thing we thought about, they had to think about that. So right. I don't know. Let us know if you know. Please let us know. But what is to stop the defense from doing that? Nothing.
Yeah, I mean that seems very pro defense, which seems like most of the rules, usually they're trying to favor the offense, favor the quarterback, whatever's gonna make the game a little bit more, fast paced, higher scoring. But yeah, this really makes it impossible for like a Hail Mary play. why would the defense just not tackle all the receivers before they can even get in the end zone?
Someone didn't like Ohio State and USC scoring 50 points a game last past season.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know. The rule changes are here. We're gonna have to live with them. Actually, there was 4 they said that was going to be proposed. The 4th one was where the clock wasn't going to stop on an incomplete pass. It was just stupid.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Thing.
And they're just playing politics, and they put that in there because they said, here's one ridiculous one, so we won't do this one. It'll make the other one sound better.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Anyways, let us know what you guys think about the college football rule changes. I'm not a fan of them. I want more football, and I'll leave it there.
I mean, if these rule changes get us to an expanded playoff, which is coming, the 12-team playoff is coming, then I guess we do kind of have to be in favor of it, because if the playoff expands, then more access to G5, and then Fresno State has a shot at a national championship.
I just can't get over the fact that they say it's It's all in favor of player health.
That's
We're
right.
keeping everybody safe. Now let's add 5 more games onto the season. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, actually, okay, but before we move on, let's do a little hypothetical here. How long until they remove like the kickoff from the college game?
Oh gosh. I hope they never do. I'm most worried about the onside kick
Right.
because I saw the NFL proposed to take off the onside kick.
Hmm.
I love the onside kick. Leave it.
Hmm.
It's part of, I mean, I feel like that is football. Kickoff, that's one of the most fun parts of the game when you have an electrifying player like Nico or Mihio or back in the day and AJ Jefferson. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know why they would take it. Son of a biscuit. I'm out. Uh, my bad. Terrible. I need to get Starlink. I need.
No, that was the Mountain West office coming at you for for hating on the rule changes.
And I don't know if it cuts you out or me out. So you guys get either me or Pletz. I don't even know which one they got. So sorry, guys.
It's all right.
But Kevin, dude, no more over-unders of 70+ points?
You're right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, pretty soon it's going to be like the NFL where, over-unders are, like 38 or 42 points. So we'll see.
Yeah, you might just want to take the under from here on out. Well, Vegas, they know what's going on, though, unfortunately. Yeah. Last thing, the draft is Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
How many Fresno State players are getting drafted? I'm going to put the over-under at 2.
You should make it a half, so that way we have to.
Sorry, 2.5.
I think Jake for sure. I don't know. Something just makes me feel like Crop is going to be, undrafted free agent. So I'm going to guess 1. I hope I'm wrong.
Oh wow.
I mean, I really hope that Mims gets a chance too. But yeah, I'm betting it's only Jake that gets drafted.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I'll go with Cropper getting drafted just because he's talked to so many teams.
Yeah.
Now, and I'm not impressed with this wide receiver class. Mm-hmm. I think there's 2 or 3 guys that are above everyone. Then everyone else is a toss-up. And so I like Cropper and what he has to offer. Jake's getting drafted. I mean, he's top 5. I'm a homer. I'm biased, but Jake is a top 5 quarterback in this draft easily.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Mims is a running back, so he's not going to get drafted.
Yep.
But other than that, do you think anyone else? Who else is out there that has a getting drafted?
I mean, I don't know if Perales is going to get a look. I mean, I'm sure he'll get a mini camp invite, and same thing with Nico. I think those are guys that are going to get mini camp invites and maybe undrafted free agent signings. But just based on the way that the teams tend to operate, you're 100% right about Mims. I mean, running backs, it's the shortest lifespan in the NFL. So that'll definitely be a post draft signing. So we'll see though. I mean, you never know what's going to happen, and if a team falls in love with one of the players and wants to make sure they get them, that's part of the fun of the draft and watching 16 hours of filler coverage on ESPN, fluff pieces.
Right. I think this is the most unpredictable draft we've seen in a while. So who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
After Aaron Mosby went undrafted, I thought, oh my gosh, well, I thought for sure Mosby would get drafted. I know he's new to the position, but
yeah.
And of course he's made the team. He's still on the Panthers. Granted, they have the first pick, but I think there's multiple NFL players coming out of Fresno State this year. Do they get drafted? I'm going with the under, unfortunately.
Yep.
But I'm going with 2.
Okay.
Let us know what you guys think. I'll get to them, and we will move on to baseball. Let us know what you think about baseball, too. If you guys caught the series over the weekend, Fresno State played San Jose State. They split 2-2. They played 4 games because they had to play a makeup game. The San Jose State canceled because they just can't hang with the big dogs. However, that makeup game is weird. San Jose State was the home team, and they walked it off in Fresno, 2-1. Both teams scored 1 in the 4th. Anchor got the loss. Hoppy had a bomb in this, and then also, or so did San Jose State in the 4th. And that was the scoring until the 10th, when they won on a double and hit a guy in. Thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, a tough game, and I mean, I feel bad for Eshawn Henderson. I mean, can we just get this guy some offense, man? I mean, really, like all we needed was 2 runs. I mean, he, was really good. Got out of a couple jams, and defense for the most part was playing pretty good behind him. I think was it Bobby Blandford threw out a runner at home, early in the game, and so. 7 strong innings from, Eshawn, struck out 8, only walked 1. And, really the only blemish was giving up that solo home run. So, besides that, really strong outing. And then, Zach Statzer came in and, did a good job for 2 innings too. So he's, really kind of solidified himself as that, kind of end of game guy, to make sure to, keep the score where it is. And so, and Jack Anchor, I mean, he's been a good player and freshman too, and he ate up some big innings on Sunday. But yeah, just kind of
he started right on Sunday.
He did, yeah, and so he, gave up a couple hits, and it was over quick there in the bottom of that 10th inning. So yeah, definitely kind of a strange game with Fresno State being the away team. So maybe that messed them up a little bit, and there was a questionable call early in the game, with our third base coach sending a runner home on, a short, single to left field. And I mean, our runner got gunned down by a mile, coming home. So, I mean, that from the stands, I was like, please don't send him. In. I mean, they must have had some bad scouting intel on the San Jose State left fielder. Cause I mean, he threw a rocket home and our runner was out by a mile. So, it's little things like that, in baseball, right? That, can make a big difference in the game. That one run is the difference between, a Eshawn Henderson victory and, a no decision and eventual loss by the Dogs. So, yeah, overall good game. And, Eshawn is strong and, he's the ace. But, yeah, frustrating that, offense wasn't able to, drum up enough offense for him.
So this game was going on while I was talking to Gabe. And we were both checking it. I pulled it up. That play where we got gunned out at home was the play when I turned it on and saw this. You got to be kidding me! I can't. What? Also, Eshawn threw 122 pitches. So yeah, I mean, we're leaving him in as long as he can go.
That's right. We're in midseason form, man. Like Aces got to eat up innings, and so
yeah, he looked good again. Saturday, game 1, we won 4-1. We actually won both games on Saturday. First game, we won 4-1. Robbie Peters got the win. Roman Angelo got the start. He went 6 2/3. Then Robbie Peters came in, pitched an inning, got the win. Hoppy comes in and gets the save. Nico Mitchell hits the home run in the 8th. A single, solo. Hopfy gets hit by a pitch, gets an RBI. We had a 4-run 8th. I'll skip to it. 4-run 8th. We win the game 4-1. Thoughts on this game?
It was really good to see another strong outing from Roman Angelo. He kind of struggled early on Sundays, or earlier in the season. And so, I mean, this is back-to-back weekends where he really had a good performance on Saturday. And that's huge for this team. I mean, the arms are going to have to do, what Angelo did. I mean, only gave up a run. And, that's And I was impressed with Robbie Peters too, because he's been kind of a late inning guy, but sometimes just lefty specialist. But yeah, to be able to come in and get an inning in the third and be efficient and get the ball to the closer, that was big. And also, I mean, Nico Mitchell's been kind of struggling the last couple series. So Saturday was good for him. He had a homer in both games, and so that was good to see him kind of break out of that. And I mean, he's kind of been bouncing all around the lineup. I mean, early in the year, he was, hitting, lead off, and then kind of moved him down a little bit. Now he was hitting, I think, eighth, this game. So, good to get him back and, back swinging and hitting the ball hard. So, yeah, it was a good first game win for the Dogs.
Urcello and Blanford also had RBIs, both singled with, I believe, bases loaded, and got an RBI. There was one more thing I was going to bring up, but that's okay. We gave up 3 hits all game.
Mm-hmm.
And so pitching staff did a great job. But then on our end, I want to say they only had on pitching staff. Sorry, our pitching staff only had 4 strikeouts.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, I mean, their guys were hitting the ball, but defense backing us up real well. So remember, we don't always need our ace to strike everybody out. We can play defense too if they get in play. Game 3, we win 8-3. Trevor Garcia gets the win. Last time we talked about Trevor, he had a rough game, but he went 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned, 7 strikeouts. Then Victor Arreola came in and got the save. We win 8-3. We had 3 home runs this game, so the bats came live. Nico, like you said, had another home run. Murph, who won again, Mountain West Freshman of the Week.
Yeah, 5 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
The guy's unstoppable.
Yeah.
And then Grady Morgan also had a home run in this game. Ben Newton and Michael McKernan doubled. They both doubled. So a lot better offense this game. Thoughts on the second Saturday game?
Yeah, good to get some offense going, and it's been a good amount of home runs lately, which hasn't really been the DNA of our team. So good to see bats waking up, and same thing with Grady Morgan too. He's been struggling the last series or two, so good to see him get a hold of one and hit a nice home run there. And Murph is just keeping rolling. I mean, it's got to be a matter of time before he just stops seeing a fastball. I mean, at this point, there has to be enough scouting on him that the opposing team has got to be a little bit more selective with how they're pitching him. But he's a stud. I mean, five Mount West Freshman of the Week in a row. I mean, that's got to be a record. I think I was listening on Sunday to the broadcast, and Paul Loeffler made a comment that I think the last player in the Mountain West to win that many consecutive awards was Steven Strasburg, who pitched for San Diego State. So, I mean, he was a stud. That was probably 10, 12 years ago now. But yeah, so the accolades keep coming for him. And I think it was also huge pitching staff wise to get, only have to throw, two different guys out there with Garcia going 6 and then Arreola eating up the last 3 innings. That's huge, especially for, what was to come on Sunday with, definitely hitting the bullpen hard with trying to mix and match innings there. So yeah, overall the team definitely needed this, and winning both games after that tough loss Friday was big.
Buddy Rivera, I see your stuff, and I'm going to get to that right after game 4 here. On Sunday, Dogs lose 9-5. Statzer gets the loss. Like I said early, Jack Anchor got the start. He went 3 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 earned, 5 strikeouts, and then it was bullpen from the 3rd inning on, or 4th inning on, and we had Jacob Acosta, Robbie Peters, Will Springer, Aiden Cremarosa, Zach Statzer, and Hoppy all came in and pitched. And I mean, Hoppy gave up 3 earned, Statzer gave up 2. Not the best game from the pitching staff. I mean, we were pretty wiped though, when it comes to pitching. But it's nice to see everybody. And then also, We had Matt Gonsalves start at catcher.
Mhm.
Or did he start or no?
He did, yeah. He started a catcher. Tyler Davis had caught 28 innings in a row, so I think they were trying to give him a little bit of a break there. And yeah, he got his first hit as a Bulldog. In the third inning when he doubled down the left field line to score Grady Morgan. So yeah, that was big. Speaking of football play, Gonzalez
He got crushed.
He got blown up blocking the plate, and so it wasn't a malicious play by the San Jose State player. It was just throw was up the line and he got decked, and so I'm surprised he stayed in the game because it was a big hit. But good to see a freshman get in there a little bit, and he played admirably. Didn't do anything to really play himself out of the lineup, so that was good to see. And another newer newcomer was Aiden Cremorosa, who you mentioned, who came in at a big spot in the middle of the game there, and he induced a double play against, I think it was against McAdoo, who was one of the San Jose State's better hitters. That dude just crushed us the whole series. So this San Jose State team is good. They can hit, they have power, and for the Dogs to be able to split this, I think it was pretty good. Obviously, we would have liked to have that victory on Friday, but considering it was kind of a mismatched bullpen day on a Sunday, overall, not terrible, but yeah, definitely would have liked a better performance from the pitching staff.
Yeah, the other guy I like on San Jose State is Jack Collette. That dude can play too.
Oh yeah, he was hitting it all over the place.
Yeah, they have a good team. Now back to our team. When it comes to batting, Matt Gonsalves, who had his first career hit as a Bulldog, was the only extra base hit of the game for us. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, but hey, we score 5 runs off that, but we lose 9-5. Next, I didn't even pull up the schedule, Caleb. What's next on the docket for Fresno State?
Yeah, so they have a midweek this week at University of San Francisco on Wednesday. Then they're heading to Albuquerque. They got the 3-game series against New Mexico. So, there's 3 more conference series left, and thankfully they're against the 3 bottom teams of the conference. So right now, the Dogs are tied for 3rd place, tied with Air Force. Air Force does have the tiebreaker over the Dogs, though. So if the season were to end today, Dogs would be in 4th place, which would be all right. Then we make the conference tournament, which is definitely what we're cheering for. But Dogs have a series against New Mexico, Nevada, and UNLV coming up. So the 3 teams at the bottom of the conference. So big opportunity. They need to win all 3 really to maintain their spot in securing a spot in the conference tournament.
Yeah, we need it. We're 19-19 overall, 500, 10-10 in conference, 500 in conference, 14-9 at home, 4-8 away.
Yeah,
I like our chances if we make the Mountain West tournament.
Totally, yeah. Playing at home, it's been a pretty home-heavy, season so far, and yeah, the Dogs are actually 20-19. Go Bulldogs! For some reason, just can't get the the overall record right because it's been tough for them to get those stats right. So yeah, the Dogs are above 500. They're at 20-19 and sitting at tied for 3rd place in the conference. So still a lot to play for, and it's been good crowds too at the ballpark. So that's been cool to see, especially with great weather. And they've been doing a good job about getting a lot of little league teams in there, and it's just been a fun environment to be part of.
Speaking of fun environments, Buddy Rivera is reminding us, and I just want to let you know, Buddy, Caleb and I talked about it before, so we didn't forget. Softball team sweeps Nevada, which that's big because that's where our former head coach Linda Garza went.
Yep.
So he says we sweep Nevada and former head coach Linda Garza. Lady Dogs are 3rd place in Mountain West Conference right now. There was a lot of hate going around last year about the softball team and the coach and how things were going to go. We had Coach Stacey May Johnson on. We really like her. She's great, and she has a record of winning. Really good to see the softball team do well. And it's been fun to watch them continually improve. I mean, we're watching them get better as the day, each and every game. I believe they're next. I don't have the schedule up, but I believe they play Stanford next. Is that correct? I would have to pull that up and check. Or Buddy can help us out who they play next. But I believe they play Stanford next. He also says he's talking about the women's water polo team. They finished undefeated in conference, and we are the 1 seed in the conference tournament. We should win. We should win. Stanford, yes. Boom, got it. Okay, Buddy says Stanford, yes. Yeah. So, I mean, dogs with the 1 seed water polo, we should win, and we will then qualify for the national tournament. And we'll get our seeding then from the national tournament. But we got to take care of business right now in the conference tournament. And there's no reason why the dogs shouldn't win this. Undefeated in conference. I mean, we know that the teams that usually go undefeated are cursed. New England Patriots, Warriors. But this team is good. We should be able to win this. So softball and women's water polo are doing great things.
Yep.
Anything you have to say about that, Caleb?
No, I mean, that's, good to see that, there's more programs that are succeeding, especially softball. I mean, it's been a big improvement since the beginning of last season, where I think they started winless for like their first 10 or 14 games or something.
It was
crazy.
Hard. It was tough, man.
So yeah, to see the team, stick around and, fight through it. And credit to the coaching staff there for, building up, a team to succeed. So that's huge. And hopefully they can make a run and, whatever, conference postseason play, the teams are in.
If there's anything else we miss in athletics, you guys let us know, throw it in the chat. We'll see it and we're happy to talk about it. We love Fresno State, so we're going to talk about it all. The last thing, Caleb, on my outline, we'll see if anybody throws anything in the chat, but the last thing on my outline is I want to talk about basketball. So we saw, and I talked about it with Gabe, Steven Vasquez, who I believe was a walk-on. He has entered the transfer portal. We hear about the division in locker rooms and the division between coach and administration, athletic administration. And then there's articles written about how every year how the Save Mart Center's a terrible venue for basketball. There was recently one written in the Fresno Bee, and I can't say I disagree. I mean, I think it's a wonderful venue. I think it could be a great place for basketball if people showed up. But what are your thoughts on – okay, well, let me back up. Hut is here to stay for this year, by the way. I feel pretty good about that. That Hut is here to stay, and I would say you guys feel pretty good about that too. Otherwise, something would have happened. I'm happy with the players that he's brought in. There's been a lot of guys that he's bringing in. He just recently brought in a player from North Texas.
North Texas bounce back. Michael Robinson, I believe was his name. So been in junior college for the last 2 seasons after initially going to North Texas out of high school. So he's bigger guy, I think 6'7" wing. So we need some size there, and so it seems like a good pickup. I think Fresno State was seemed like one of the better offers he had, so I'm not surprised that he takes it. But I mean, it's definitely seeming like Hut is going to be here. And I think I was kind of swung on to that side. That I think that's the right move here. And especially after hearing about how bad the financial situation is for the basketball team. I mean, it does not seem like a program that could afford to just, pay out coach $500,000 for, his buyout. So I think overall financially, it's probably the right move. And it seems like for the most part, the core of the team is staying together. Isaiah Hill is telling us, don't worry, it's going to be all right. So I think I'll listen to him, senior leader on this team. So I am optimistic about next season. College basketball is, even crazier transfer portal, I think, than college football, just because of, how easily a guy can impact a team if he, is, right fit for the system and the program. So big opportunities. Hut's bringing in guys, so obviously he's able to recruit. So if he's able to recruit, you got to think he's going to be sticking around.
Right. And in my opinion, he's bringing in guys that can help the team right now.
Mm-hmm.
And which, in a contract year, you have to do as a coach. And really in basketball, you have to do because you're in win now mode all the time with the transfer portal. It's sad to see that the college game has become that. And it's not just Fresno State. It's the entire NCAA college basketball world because I feel bad for the high school kids. It's good. It's really hard as a high school kid to get in and play right away unless you're an NBA player, unless you're future NBA. Mm-hmm. So, because of our Valley pride, I feel really bad for the Valley basketball players who want to play for Fresno State. I hope there's some out there that want to play for Fresno State and can make an impact because they are going to be sitting there while this huge man that's been working for 4 years on his body in basketball comes in, and it's a different guy every 2 or 3 years.
Right.
That's tough as a freshman, to come in and red shirt and sit. And I get that. I get it. But, sometimes you have to buy your time and get better and put on the weight and get a shot. So I
think some of that will be fixed though in maybe 2 years once all the guys with COVID years finally use up all their eligibility and can't get any more waivers. I think that'll help a little bit because, we have guys here that are, 23, 24 years old that are, still have eligibility somehow to playing college ball. And it's definitely tough for a 17, 18-year-old coming in where, basketball is a physical game. And if, you aren't able to hang with, these grown men, that's definitely going to be tough to, give minutes.
Kevin says, so many question marks in basketball. We need a student section big time. I agree. And I was going to bring this up when it comes to the Save Mart Center and just Fresno State athletic culture in general. I shouldn't say athletic, student culture in general, because we are a massive commuter school. When you go home, kids are going home on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday night instead of we're having thousands of kids walk a couple feet to their dorm room. We're driving 30 miles back to Kerman and Kingsburg, and then we got to come back for the basketball game at 7
or 8. So, we had some late tips this year. So that's definitely not helping with the commuter kids who, do want to come to a game, but it's just not going to fit with their schedule if they have, work or family commitments that they just got to be home for.
If you're a student right now or you want to be a future student at Fresno State, I highly recommend living in the dorms. I did. People hate on it all the time, and they say you and all this stuff. Best time of my life in the dorms. Lived there for 3 years. Went to every game. We walked to the Save Mart Center. Yeah, and it hurt being one of 10 people in the basketball student section. And to be honest, as a college kid who would – I feel embarrassed, like sitting there screaming and yelling as loud as I can, and everyone in the gym's just staring at you like, who are these drunk idiots? But anyways, I think the commuter part is tough when it comes to the student section. When it comes to I want to say this, and I actually feel bad for Coach Hutt. I do when it comes to money, and people want to point the finger at, well, Coach Hutt's not winning. Well, the athletic department isn't giving him money. So it's Coach Hutt's fault. It's the athletic department's fault. In my opinion, whoever signed the deal with the Save Mart Center, it's their fault. That's who it is. That's whose fault it is. And the school, and I mentioned this on Gabe's episode, is we need to be in the business of signing good deals. We're not in a good deal right now. Get out of that deal. I don't care what it is, because you're losing money. Get out of the deal so that you can have money. And everyone here, I say my plan all the time, but let's make some money so that we can give our coach and players resources. So don't sign bad deals. Moral of the story, please. So I'm
hopefully
done pointing fingers.
Hopefully
Coach Hunt
that is taken into account with future former Bulldog Stadium renovations, because we could be walking into another bad deal of debt service for 30 years. So.
Well, shoot, after I saw the renaming deal, I wasn't too thrilled there. Oh, man. That's why this podcast is by the fans for the fans, because we can get away with saying these things and we don't have to answer to anyone yet. So, yeah. Before we leave, bucket golf tournament at Gili Winery, June 17th. That's the Saturday before Father's Day. Sign up at bewareofbulldogs.com. It's $100 for a foursome, $30 for individual. Bring your dad. I mean, we're going to have you get a glass of wine or a beer with your ticket. There'll be certain beers there. We're not going to have the beer and get canceled. I'm not buying it. Sorry. And then so it comes with a drink. There's going to be snacks there and a swag bag. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you don't know what bucket golf is, just DM me. I'm happy to message you and tell you what it is. It's basically redneck golf is what it is. When I stink at real golf, this is the closest we could get to having fun and being decent at it. So
yeah, and it's great for beginners too. So yeah, definitely don't be intimidated by the word golf. It'll be a fun time and family friendly too. So definitely bring your family out to the winery.
Yeah, if you have a 14-year-old that wants to play, they can play. Their drink will be soda. It's at the winery. We got it for them. So actually, Caleb, fun fact, did you know that in California, if the guardian buys a drink and gives it to the kid, that's okay?
Really?
As far as I know, I don't think they've changed that yet. Yeah. Maybe that was just in my house. I don't know. I don't know. That's what I think so. So, I can't say anything if dad buys a beer and gives his 14-year-old a Coors.
Yeah. There you go. And and tickets for that are on the website. So I don't even know
bewareofbulldogs.com. You have to click on shop merch and the tickets will be there. And there's more info on the bucket golf tournament there. That's June 17th, the Saturday. I believe it's the 17th. I don't think it's the 19th. I don't know why.
Yeah, 17th.
June 17th, Saturday before Father's Day. There's also going to be cigars for sale. And if you stay until it's going to start in the morning, if you stay until noon, brick oven pizza will be ready for you you have to purchase it, but there will be brick oven pizza there. So,
yep. And while you're on the website, you can pick up a hat too, because we do have merch for sale on the website.
Perfect.
So check it out.
And I think there's flags coming.
We do have flags now too. Limited quantity, but yes, we do have some Beware Bulldogs flags available for sale. So they are cool. I need to put one up behind me so that way we can display it. But yes, very excited.
I gotta buy one from you. This guy's charging me. Can you believe that? Thank you guys so much for listening. Caleb and I have a blast doing this. Be sure to follow us on all the social stuff, and if you're on YouTube, hit all the buttons down there. And please stay safe, stay healthy. God bless you guys. And as always, go Dogs.
Go Dogs.